Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me again. This is the first recording I do since my birthday last week. And I know I talked about my birthday last year, and because it is 10 days into January, I said it before, I'll say it again. It gives me an opportunity to renew any resolutions that I may fail to follow through on during the first 10 days of the new year. And last year, I may have told you that I had made it a resolution to go to sleep a little earlier. And this year, I have decided to get up a little earlier. Not very creative, am I? But I was watching the news one morning as I was getting ready for work, and they were interviewing a sleep specialist who was saying that people like to tend to sleep in on their days off. It really throws off their biological clock. So if people are going to sleep in at all, they really should only sleep a half hour longer than they ordinarily do. I'm nocturnal by nature, but over the last few years, I have started to get away from that. But I mean, I used to go to sleep as early as 2 in the morning. It was 2 in the morning and after. But over these last few years, I've been struggling to stay up pretty much until 2 o'clock in the morning. So I often, as a result of those late hours, wake up close to noon or even during the 12 o'clock hour. At least I used to, and then it changed to 11 o'clock, and then for a while now, and I've been getting up during the 10 o'clock hour. So I've decided to just go ahead and set the alarm. I like to wake up naturally on my days off, but set the alarm and start getting up around 9-ish, 9:30. So that is my plans for the new year, and that's not really what I'm here to talk to you about. I wanted to talk to you about panhandling because I got another email from the city of Orlando. And the last time I talked about one of these emails from the city of Orlando, it was kind of critical. And I thought I would be again, but I must say that the city of Orlando has made some efforts to try to help the homeless. And they have been building some low-income housing in some blighted areas of downtown, west of downtown. And I think that's a good thing. I hate to see people sleeping on streets, especially at this time of year when it's kind of cold. My experiences with panhandlers and homeless people is not one that I should be proud of, but I've had a very negative attitude towards them. And I got to tell you, as I grow older, as I have more and more of these birthdays, I start thinking about other possibilities, because if you're like me, you get it into your head that something is one way and one way only, and you don't think about any other possibilities. Well, as you grow older and you acquire wisdom and you have more life experiences, you tend to think that things can happen in other ways that you would ever assume. So homeless people, I just have always felt that they just made bad decisions and they don't care, and that's how they ended up that way. And I don't think that's always the situation. I had a friend who became homeless for a while. I was horrified. I never had a friend that was homeless and living on the streets. I didn't think it was possible. And I did invite him into my home, and I had him stay once, and that was it. Just overnight, one time. And then he asked me again, and I had to decline. And you know what? I hate to do that, but the thing is, these people, it becomes a vicious cycle with them, and then if you let them into your home, you'll never get rid of them, you know. And once you force them out, then they're really focused on what you did wrong at that moment, at the end, rather than everything that you did leading up to that. You don't there's no appreciation or recognition for that. So, I'm happy to say that, he he's in the process of fixing up a home, and he's involved in this rent to own type situation, and that's great. He wasn't and isn't a panhandler, and I don't think I've ever had anyone as a friend that just stood on the street with the "will work for food" signs. And I've treated people rather harshly when they've approached me. One person, I don't even remember what I said to him, but I do recall as I was walking away from him that he was yelling obscenities at me. He was so angry. I don't even know what I did. When people approach me and they ask me for money, I always refuse. If they say they're hungry, and I am on my way to a grocery store, a convenience store, I tell them, if you wait for me out here, when I come back out, I'll have something for you. And I usually look for something inexpensive that doesn't require any heating. They can just unwrap it and eat it. Maybe like a poor boy sub or something like that. I'll buy that for them. And sometimes I come outside and I don't even see them anymore. So if it's something you decide you want to do, just make sure it's something that you yourself would eat, in case they vanish when you come outside. Either they didn't really mean it when they said they were hungry and they just wanted money, or they got someone else to help them. I appreciate people that try to be a little entertaining rather than just coming up to you and asking for money, but I don't like any of it. I just don't. I remember when I was in Rome, I saw a lot of homelessness, and people would actually lay out by the ATM machine, the automatic teller machine, and wait for you to stick your card in and start throwing money to hit you up for money. It was awful. I've never seen such aggressive panhandling here. When I lived in South Florida, I know that in Miami, if you would stop at a traffic light, people would come up to you and start spraying your windshield and want to wipe your windshield wipers for a tip. And I always refuse them. I've turned on the wipers on them. I don't need that. I have windshield wiper fluids and I have windshield wipers. I don't even know what you have in your spray bottles and where you got that towel from that you want to apply to my windshield. In Fort Lauderdale, they just walked up and down through traffic, and I think they do that in Orlando as well. But I live in the, rather I should say, I work in the downtown area, and a lot of times they're just laying on the ground sleeping. And there is a panhandling problem there, and sometimes I'm walking to pick up a lunch, and you just smell the urine on the street. It's really awful. I want them to be helped to the extent where they could then help themselves, because when you're living on the streets and you don't have any clean clothes and you have no way to take a shower or anything, how could you really fill out an application, apply for a job, when you look like you just crawled out from under a rock? So I really feel that the government, the churches, should provide, meals and a place to sleep, and some assistance in finding a job, so that these people can start making some money, have a place to crash, and then get a little nest egg going so that they can move out on their own. And but that brings me to the email that I got from the city of Orlando, and I want to read this to you, and it'll help warm me up to what I want to talk to you about. All right, so it says here, help create real change. Gives, that's plural, GiveSmartOrlando.org. Okay. It says give smart and help create real change. It says we're proud that Orlando is a compassionate community I don't know why they keep trying to, um, they keep talking about how compassionate the city of Orlando is. I don't know why they feel that that needs to be said over and over and over again, but I digress. So anyway, we're proud that Orlando is a compassionate community and recognize that many people give to panhandlers with the best of intentions because they want to help them meet their everyday needs like clothing, food, and personal hygiene. Unfortunately, this type of giving does not ultimately help the individual get off the streets and into housing. I agree with that completely. I mean, if you give these people $1, is that really going to buy them a meal? Is that really going to get them an overnight stay at a Best Western or something? No. I mean, they're just going to go and spend it on booze and cigarettes. And you know, when you're down and out, sometimes really the only solace you can find is in the bottle. And I understand that. It's awful. But anyway, it goes on to say, a new Text to Give campaign has launched to help fund crucial services for the chronically homeless with the goal of getting them into permanent supportive housing. The next time someone asks you for change, don't give cash. Give with a smart heart and help create real change by amplifying your give alongside the donations of others by texting Give Smart to 85511. So I clicked on the link and I went to their website and it says Give Smart, create real change, and it says use your smartphone to send a text message. Instead of typing in a telephone number, type 85511 and then type Give Smart in the text message. All right, and then you'll receive an automatic reply message with a link to the secure donation platform, and then you can donate. But anyway, it says when we give together, it adds up. With the help of the donation administrator, Heart of Florida United Way, we will release donation results in this section of the website on a quarterly basis. Please check back in April 2019 to see how much change Orlando generated and how everyone allocated their donations. Okay, so I won't use this. I mean, if you want to do it, do it. You may not live in Orlando, but there may be something comparable to this. If we're doing it here in Orlando, probably doing it in your part of the country. If you want to donate, if you want to go on giving people a buck or two, you know, it's really not, you're just helping them for the moment. You're really feeling good about yourself, okay? You're not really doing anything that's going to give them, you know, anything that's lasting. You know, they may just be able to go into the 7-Eleven and get themselves a big gulp and not be thirsty. And that's about it, you know. And they're just going to keep asking over and over and over again. If we're going to help these people, we really got to help them in a way that's going to get them off the streets and back on the path to, you know, self-reliance. If not success, at least self-reliance. So I don't give people money. I don't suggest you give them $1 or $2. These other organizations that are set up, is all I'm saying is if you're going to participate in that, is research these charities carefully, okay? Because these are private organizations, but they're basically doing the same thing that the government does. The government says, don't you give money to anybody. Give the money to us, and then we'll redistribute it for you in the way we think is the right way to do it. Now, anybody else that probably got this email thought, oh, cool, I want to do this. You know, I want to feel good about myself. I, of course, overanalyze things, you know, and maybe that's why you're listening, you know. But really, I would rather have control over my money and see where it goes. And it's really hard to do it when you give to these charities. And a lot of times, the money isn't spent the way that you would think it was spent. So I don't know enough about it to really give you the best advice possible. But all I can say is do a little investigating and make sure that your money is spent in the way that you intended it to. All right. So anyway, I'm not going to go on and on about this any longer. I think I said everything that I set out to say, other than some other bad experiences I had with homeless people. One guy politely waited for me in the drive-thru to finish my order, and then went to ask me for money. I'm like, no, and just rolled up the window on him. And then my passenger was so embarrassed. You know, I want to get away from doing things like that. I think the best thing to do is, at least for me, is to be honest with people, because it's really the way I can sleep at night. I know they're complete strangers, but I don't want to tell them that I have a pocket full of money that I just don't want to give them. I'm not going to tell them that. And I'm not going to tell them that I don't have any money. But what I am going to say is, I'm sorry. Okay? Start out by saying you're sorry. That's what I plan on saying. I'm sorry, but I can't help you. And most panhandlers will accept that, especially if as long as you don't steal away their dignity, because it's already, what they're doing is already undignified. And if you're really rude and nasty and you humiliate them, that just is unnecessary. I know that sometimes these people come up to you over and over and over again, but just say, just have that same canned response, sorry, can't help you. And you know what? That's true, because if you give them $1 or $2, that's really not helping them, is it? I mean, they may think it's help, but it really isn't. They need a lot more help than you can give them at that moment. And then there have been times where I've tried to help, like the story about me, buying food for people. I've done it a few times. One time I went home and made coffee for somebody because it was a cold night. In retrospect, that probably wasn't the best thing to do. All I know is if some stranger just pulled up in a car and brought me a cup of coffee, I'd be like, whoa, what is this? Has this been poisoned? Maybe hot water in a tea bag would have been better. But anyway, just think about where your money is really going. Make sure it's, you work hard for the money you make. Just make sure if you part with it, that it's really helping with somebody. It's really helping somebody. All right, so that's all I have to say on the subject. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And by now, you should be agreeing always. And I thank you for that as well. Until we meet again, that's all I have. Good night.
A year or so ago, I was walking through downtown and, much to my dismay, discovered a homeless Jesus statue laying on a park bench. I was relieved to learn the adjacent church is responsible, not the city. I'm still appalled. The point is to see Jesus as a homeless person, and I guess if you respect Jesus, you can respect the homeless. Blasphemy is all it is, and the takeaway is not to help the homeless, but to pity them. And let's be like Jesus by making ourselves homeless. Give me a break.